Hello everyone, welcome back to 3-Hour News Show. We are already in our favorite segment, Say the Stories.
Yay.
So, in your opinion guys, how much do you think people abroad know about Indonesian food? Because yeah, we have a lot of variety of delicious cuisines, right?
Yeah, delicious cuisines and pretty famous too. Because one time I think Go CNN featured that #1 food in the world was rendang, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, a lot of people know rendang, nasi goreng, or the fried rice, and also what do you call it? Tempe.
Tempe,
Yeah, right. So I was scrolling on social media and found an Australian who features and promotes Indonesian food in his contents. His name is Molodiski. I mean, from the name, I don't know whether he knows Indonesian food, but let's take a look at the details.
Yeah, Molodiski is one of the popular content creators in Indonesia. Although he is from Australia, he would often cook Indonesian food. He also frequently shares his contents about Indonesian culinary delights on his Instagram and YouTube account.
he currently has 366,000 followers on Instagram and 177,000 subscribers on YouTube. He is known for his expertise in cooking Indonesian dishes, and I also heard that he is able to describe in detail the taste of each ingredient and seasoning in the Indonesian language. And now we are connected with Molodiski from Sydney, Australia. Hi, Nick. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi,
on this
Nick.
Oh, there he is.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Good. Wait a minute. You don't look like somebody who's been eating the pate, for example, or I don't know,
I got dressed up for you.
terasi.
No.
Yeah. But you do love Indonesian food, right?
It's all I do, pretty much. All of my food is Indonesian food. It's pretty much my life until this point.
Wow.
Nick, first
yes.
thing first, how do you interested in Indonesian cuisine? Do you have a story behind?
So originally, back when I was at school, at my school, it was compulsory to learn Indonesian language for a few years. And I always liked the book. And then my private language tutor used to bring me food all the time. So it's pretty much to her.
All right. But which part of Indonesian food that you like the most? Is it because of the spiciness, the ingredients, the herbs?
It was the variety of it. It's because, I mean, we get told the famous Indonesian foods to start, like the rendang, the nasi goreng, the nice stuff. But then when I started to learn more about like all the different islands and the foods, that's what got me to really start to pay attention to it, like ikan mas arsik.
My goodness.
Everything.
Say it again. Say rendang again. Say rendang
Rendang and
again.
nasi goreng, Nick, please.
Rendang.
Rendang. That's very Indonesian. Oh my
Kontenta
God.
kalau ngomong kayak gitu.
Wow, you speak bahasa. Very fluent.
Very fluent. Okay, so can you tell us about your social media platform? Because you have Masak dengan Nick. And what kind of contents would you create? Is it true that most of your contents are influenced by Indonesian food?
95%. For the first probably 3 or 4 years, it was 100% Indonesian food, and particularly with the focus on finding Indonesian ingredients here in Sydney and showing the Indonesian community that they can still cook their food if they live here, if that makes sense.
Wow, that's very
So
thoughtful.
yeah,
Very
it's very
thoughtful.
specific. Yeah.
Wow. So, Nick, we heard that pempek is the first Indonesian food that you tried. So, is it true? And what role did pempek play in your love for Indonesian cuisine? I love pempek too, you know.
Pempek keriting, that's
Oh,
the
gosh.
best. That's my one food with the kuko and everything. That's just that if I can find that. It was the first non-mainstream Indonesian food that I tried. So that was kind of the gateway into knowing that there wasn't just 4 or 5 dishes. And yeah, it's just so good. And it was like chewy foods aren't that common here. And when I had like a chewy fish cake and spicy, not so hot soup, it was just like, what is this? And then I went and learned more.
Yeah, we got a lot of chewy food like pempek, batagor, and we have somai, tekwan. All those are like chewy, right?
Oh my
Get
God.
this expression.
You put that on a plate, that's in front of me.
There is, how do you learn to make, for example, the kapal selam pempek, where you have to hold like the dough and then you put the egg in
Inside,
and then you boil it. Did you make that?
There's
Did you make
tricks
that?
for that. Sometimes people freeze the egg now so it still holds the shape and then you don't have to pour it anymore. Yeah, I'm really digging like following all the other like mum bloggers or like all of the people that cook. Like I like the really, really home cooked stuff. That's the stuff I follow. So there's tricks that I've picked up. I just love pempek.
You have that.
Nick, I'm just curious. I mean, like, you learn Indonesian food from internet, or you just learn something, the recipe from like Indonesian who living in Australia?
So originally, the only reason I feel confident enough to share the recipes was because I used to volunteer at the Indonesian Welfare Association here every Friday, and I used to cook with all the tante-tante that were in the kitchen. So I was like their kitchen hand. And then I also saw jajanan pasar every Friday. Kue lapis, kue talam.
Oh,
I
God.
did that.
I feel like I'm speaking to an Indonesian guy now.
I know,
You
right?
sound so Indonesian.
Yes.
But how do you find the ingredients? For example, for rawon, we need kluwak. Is
Kluwak,
it available
yeah.
in Sydney?
Surprisingly, yes, it comes dried and in pellet form, so it's not the same as you'd get with the shell. You have to soak it. But there's quite a few importers here and Indonesian supermarkets. And particularly with like working holiday visas, there's a lot of Indonesians in Sydney now. So there's a lot more variety of what I can get. But when I first started, it was really hard. There were like 2 shops and I had to find it online.
Wow.
But now it's easy.
So like Alia said, it feels like we're speaking to an Indonesian, right?
Yeah.
The way he pronounced all these Indonesian
Pempek
dishes, yeah.
Nasi goreng.
So is it true that you started learning about Indonesian language in the 5th year of primary school? And how has Indonesian language influenced your culinary journey?
Yeah, so I started in 5th grade, in like year 5, and then I only really got interested towards the end of high school, and then I majored in it for my bachelor degree. So pretty much since university, aside from working, I would speak Indonesian more now probably than I would English. Most of my friends, there's a lot of Indonesians here. I speak it with my wife at home, and just, yeah, I cook it for dinner for the kids. So it's kind of in that sense.
Wow, so you've taught your kids to eat Indonesian food as well?
They have to.
They
No
have.
Harus.
Harus, wajib ya.
Harus dong, nggak ada pilihan.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, we also heard that you published a book about Indonesian cuisine. What made you want to write?
I published 2. I've got 2 cookbooks and a kid's book. So is that 3? Technically 3. But yeah, I've got a few books.
You've got a kid book as well, the children book.
I do.
What was
I
it
do.
about?
And it's about food.
Food
I
as
have a
well.
couple. My wife
Let's see.
prepared me today. I was not prepared. It's a kid's book about, don't blow me out.
Oh.
Oh.
My own Zoom is censoring me. This is great. It's a bilingual book called Petualangan Kuliner Zoe di Indonesia. So Zoe's my eldest.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-part book where she's traveling around 10 different cities. So it's sentence by sentence, it swaps between the languages. And I wanted Indonesian kids to learn about Indonesian food because people don't know stuff. It's like in Bali, people just know ayam betutu, but then you've got lak-lak, you've got rujak bulung, you've got tipat cantok. So I want everyone to know everything. I go all out. My food.
Right,
So
okay.
that's what the book.
No, from you know, Indonesia is archipelagic country, and you know there's Sabang to Merauke. Which part of the Indonesian region, or can you choose like which island has the most favorite culinary experience that you have before?
Oh, that's too hard. I change every day.
Really?
Sometimes I want Padang, sometimes I want like food from like warteg, you know, like with
He
the,
sounds so
green
Javanese somehow. I don't know.
But it's like, yeah, it depends on the day. I don't have a favorite.
I don't have a favorite.
And sometimes you just cook fried rice with emu egg, right?
Oh God.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That was
Anyway.
interesting. That
We
was-
saw it on your Instagram. We were like, what kind of egg is that? It's so
It's
big.
a big and
How does
green
it
one.
taste?
That was a one-off. I'm not sure I'm going to be cooking that for my house.
But don't
Again.
try to alternate or substitute terasi with Vegemite. Never.
Oh
Like,
no.
Never.
People keep telling me to do it though. No. They have their places in the culinary world, and I'm not going to mess with that.
Hi, Chris. How has your interest in Indonesian cuisine evolved over the years, and what kind of Indonesian dishes do you enjoy making the most?
I guess it's evolved in the sense that I've gone to more different communities to learn about the food. Like just before COVID, we went to Papua. I've been to Timor. I've looked at some places that probably aren't famous for their food. And I guess that's what's made me evolve most, learning about not so well-known foods, and they're actually all really good.
wow.
So that's probably, yeah.
Okay, so can you mention like one Indonesian dish that not so many people know, not so many Indonesian even know about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dish, but you say that this is a treasure to Indonesian culinary?
I actually find, and it's interesting because it's a version of something you can find everywhere, but I find the rujak in Bali to be something that's just really, really different. Because most people think of it as just fruits with like the peanut sauce, but then if it's rujak, like just that's your standard rujak. But then you get there and it's just like really crispy vegetables in a really, really, really spicy, fishy sauce. I don't know, it's just like a flavor bomb. And it's something that people don't even know unless you've gone into the Balinese community. But for me, that was the most like, oh, that's what you think rujak is. And it tastes good.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So,
All right.
Yeah, go ahead,
Go ahead,
Yanni. We all want to ask questions.
I know we do. We want to ask questions, but we have to go on a break. So, Nick, we still have more questions for you. So, stay put. Don't go anywhere just yet. And for viewers, we'll be back after the break. Don't go anywhere.